What's up, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and today's video was provided by Aristia. Aristia has given me videos in the past. This one I wanted to highlight because he went on an absolute tear in the Tier 9 Friesland. Just an absolutely sick round. Melted ships left and right. And really, this is probably one of the best rounds I've ever seen in the Friesland. Before I get to today's topic, I need to give you my sincere apologies. Yesterday, in my video review of the Thunderer, I said that it was a free XP ship. I mistakenly thought that it was 1 million free XP. However, that was obviously not the case, because as many of you very kindly, and I mean that sincerely, many of you pointed out that it was indeed a coal ship. And part of the reason that this happens sometimes is, I don't want to say I'm lazy, but you can see right here, Aristia is already starting the DPM fireworks show. But sometimes I just don't look, and I assume, which is not a good thing. And part of the problem is, a lot of these ships I just get in the port. Wargaming provides these ships to me. You may or may not know that. I get these ships, I test them out, and sometimes I assume something or I hear something, and you know what? I can try and make an excuse all I want, but that's all it's going to be, an excuse. There's no excuse. I should have done my research. I should have known. Thunder is indeed a coal ship. Sorry if some of you had your hopes kind of elevated that it would be a free XP ship. It is indeed a coal ship. It's available for 252,000 coal. And it's kind of good, though, that this came up, because that brings us to our actual topic of today. And that's going to be about coal ships in general, and what I feel are the best coal ships that you can get, the best value for your coal ships. And you can see right now that Aristia is kind of alternating between HE and AP, so he's not sticking to HE only, which is a good thing to keep in mind, and he's just lighting the ship on fire. God, it's just so ugly. Before I go into the coal ships, though, I do want to say that I was giving away a Friesland, which is another reason for this video, and Patrick from Poland, if you don't answer my email, I'm sorry to say I'm going to have to re-roll. So I'm going to give you about 48 hours, and if you don't get back to me, I'm going to have to give it to someone else. I hate to do that, but it's only fair. So those of you out there watching, if you entered for that Friesland, you might have another chance to win it. So let's move on to the main topic for today, the best coal ships in the game. And we've already said that the Thunder is 252,000 coal. To kind of refresh your memory on what coal ships are out there, and just a caveat, I'm only going to be going over the Tier 9 and above coal ships. I'm not going to worry about the lower tier ones, you know, the ones that only cost 50,000 coal. I'm only concerned with the Tier 9s and the Tier 10s. So you've got Thunder at 252,000 coal. You've got Yoshino at 248,000 coal. You've got Smolensk at 244,000 coal. Salem at 240,000 coal. Georgia at 228,000, and Jean Bart at 228,000. So you've got a good mix of Tier 9s and Tier 10s in there. So what do I think are the best coal ships right now? What do I think you should spend your hard-earned coal on? Well, hopefully you've been saving it up. I really hope you have, because we've got a fair amount of really good coal ships here lately. I want to say that Thunderer and Smolensk right now, in my opinion, are probably two of the better coal ships you can purchase. Not to say that they're the best coal ships, but they are definitely the better that you can purchase. You know, it's all going to depend on what type of ship you like more. You might be a cruiser player. You might consider yourself to be a cruiser main. In that case, you only have 2 or 3 options right there. I almost said 2, but you do have 3. Yoshino, it's the size of a battleship, but it is indeed a cruiser, one of those heavy cruisers. So out of the cruisers, you've got Yoshino, you've got Smolensk, and you've got Salem. Out of those 3, the obvious choice is going to be the Smolensk. Smolensk, hands down. You should not take Salem or Yoshino over the Smolensk. And of course, unless you already have the Smolensk. But out of those 3, it's the Smolensk all the way. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what you take. Salem, it's really just a Des Moines. You're basically spending coal for a Des Moines with gimped radar and well, you've got a better heel than the Des Moines. You've kind of got close to a British heel, but, you know, it's just not worth it. Because the Des Moines is pretty much the same thing. And Aristia right now has already crossed the 100,000 damage mark, and he's not slowing down whatsoever. He's just going to keep at it right now. So out of the 3 cruisers, Smolensk for sure. That leaves you with a choice of 3 battleships. You've got the Jean Bart, the Georgia, and the Thunderer. Now, this is going to depend on whether or not you want a Tier 10 or you want a Tier 9 battleship. If you're a battleship man, you might have already bought the Jean Bart and you might be saving up. You might not have. You might have been saving up your coal for this absolute moment. And this is where it gets tricky, because all 3 of these ships are really good ships. And it's hard to give a recommendation on one over the other. At Tier 9, Georgia and Jean Bart are 2 very different ships. And I really can't say which one's better, because they both excel where the others don't. They both have their pros and they both have their cons. Georgia's a very fun ship. It's a great ship for flanking. It's got that speed boost. You've got giant guns. But on the flip side, Jean Bart is also a very good battleship. Jean Bart has a lot of merits to it as well. It's got the reload booster on that. You can absolutely punish other ships with that. So out of those 2, really it's going to come down to personal preference, and I can't really recommend one over the other. You've got 2 very good quality choices right there. You've got 2 good quality choices, and it's just going to come down to personal play style. Whether you want an American ship or you want a French ship, really you can't go wrong with either of them. And that leaves you with the Thunderer at Tier 10. And, you know, it's... see, I'm having a very hard time recommending something right here, because the Thunderer is also a really good battleship. If you saw my review, I reviewed it very, very favorably. There's a lot to like in the Thunderer. There is. But out of these 3 battleships, if you're looking for something different, honestly, out of the 3, Georgia's probably going to give you the most different because of the secondaries and because of the speed boost. Thunder, I don't want to say it's exactly the same as the Conqueror, but it's too similar to the Conqueror. It's basically a Conqueror that just happens to have really big guns and can also fire AP. But if you've already got the Conqueror, you're not going to get too much differently out of the Thunderer. However, the Georgia is not like any other ship in the American line. Save for, well, no, it's not. You've got Massachusetts with good secondaries, and then you've got Ohio up at Tier 10 with good secondaries, but Georgia's the outlier. Georgia's a different ship altogether. It's got the speed boost, it's got the secondaries, and it's got the big guns. It's all the best of both the Ohio and the Massachusetts together. So, for that reason, out of those 3, you might want to take the Georgia. However, again, the Jean Bart's a really, really good ship. So, out of those 3, I would probably go for Georgia first. If you don't have a Royal Navy ship, if you don't have Conqueror and you're looking for something solid, maybe take Thunderer after that, and then Jean Bart. But then again, you know Jean Bart's also a really good ship. So, all I can say is, with your battleships, you have 3 really solid choices to use your coal on. And I really can't give you a recommendation out of that as for which I would go for first. It's all going to depend on what you're looking for. If you need a Tier 10 coal battleship, then take the Thunderer. If you're looking for Tier 9, either or for the Georgia or Jean Bart is going to work for you. It's what you're looking for, if you want speed or not. Now, out of all the ships in general, I would no doubt take Smolensk first right now. Get it while the iron's hot. Get it before they nerf it. I don't know that they're going to nerf it. They've nerfed it once already, and I don't think it really did much. But get it while you can. So Smolensk first for sure. Out of these ships, at the bottom of the barrel, I'd say probably the Salem and the Yoshino. Yoshino's really only good for friendly fire. Honestly, it doesn't give you much over something like... Well, it's not better than the Stalingrad, that's for sure. I would take the Stalingrad, and of course that's a steel ship. But I'm just saying, Yoshino, out of all the super carriers, I find it to be the least appealing. So on this list, at the top of the ships that you can purchase with coal, I would probably take Smolensk first, then your choice of battleship after that. Thunder, Georgia, or Jean Bart, depends what you're looking for, doesn't really matter. And then bottom of the barrel, you've got Salem and Yoshino. I really wouldn't look at those two at this point. Unless you already have them, you're stuck with them. But definitely Smolensk is, in my opinion, the best ship you can buy with coal right now. And then your battleships after that, it's really kind of a toss-up. They're just really all great ships. And as I say this right now, Aristia has already gotten his Confederate. He's gotten just about everything you can get right now. He's just pummeling this poor Flint, taking Citadel after Citadel off of it, and he's at 247,000 damage right here. He has had one hell of a game in the Friesland. Witherer, Confederate, just all of that stuff. He's got high caliber. Just an amazing game in the Friesland, and this is going to run out. Guys, thanks for watching. Again, re-rolling right now. I got to get you a new winner. If Patrick in Poland does not get back to me on the Friesland, we're going to redraw it, and you can have this wonderful, phenomenal ship. Those are my opinions on the coal ships as well. You've got some tough choices right there. Just look at everybody's reviews, do your research, make an informed decision. But with the battleships, you can't go wrong. But get that Smolensk first. Thanks for watching. Zoop out.